Elon may be holding back, and there actually may be significant evidence that the FBI directly was in communication with people at Twitter and other social media places to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story. Now, the story that broke yesterday from Elon and Twitter is great. I'm glad Elon is releasing files, but it seems as if there's been a holdback because we know from Zuckerberg and through other testimony that actually the FBI was directly involved in telling people in these social media companies to censor these stories that would be coming out. In one case, specifically mentioning Hunter Biden's name is alleged in testimony by former head of Twitter's sort of safety concerns, Yoel Roth. Miranda Devine at the New York Post, who broke this story initially, who was one of the people that was most censored by almost all of media and social media, claimed that she was spreading Russian disinformation, something we now know to be not true, that this was an accurate story. She's since put a column up saying, actually, we do know that the FBI was involved and state actors were involved. So let's look at that now. She says, we know that the FBI supervisory agent Elvis Chan testified Tuesday in a lawsuit against Biden administration brought by the Republican attorneys that he organized these weekly meetings with Twitter and Facebook in San Francisco for as many as 7 Washington-based FBI agents in the run-up to the 2020 presidential elections. Twitter's then head of site integrity, Yoel Roth, has stated in a sworn declaration that he was told during those meetings to expect hack and leak operations by state actors involving Hunter Biden. Now, as bad as it is that Twitter, we now know from these documents, interfered in the 2020 election, thereby causing Biden to win because it was only about 40 or 50,000 votes in select states, if they would have went the other way, would have actually resulted in changing who won the 2020 election. And we've seen from several polling firms that even large swaths of Democrats say that they may have changed their vote had they been aware of this story. Yet the full court press was on was former intelligence agencies, people at the DNC, Democrats, the Biden administration, and almost the entirety of the mainstream media to declare this story Russian disinformation. But as bad as that is, if the government in the form of the FBI, the DHS, any other organization within the government was actively pressuring and telling these social media companies that there was going to be a hack story, particularly mentioning Hunter Biden's name, that is not only an anti-First Amendment violation, but that is intervention to steal an election worse than anything that Russia was ever accused of. And I've been talking about the corruption from the FBI and how that's the biggest scandal in this country and the most important thing that we need to get rid of. Here we can see whatever you think about misinformation or claims from Russia and their possibility that we were told for 4 years, 12 Russian trolls that were posting on Pokemon Go and Facebook and how that was election interference. Whatever you think about that, we have to ask ourselves, what does it mean if the most powerful law enforcement agency in the history of the world is interfering in elections and pressuring social media companies that control such a flow of public discourse to censor stories critical of the candidate that they like? Now, why did Elon Musk hold this stuff back and how much was held back? Who knows? We don't know how much that Twitter employees, when they found out Musk was buying Twitter, decided to delete evidence. We don't know how much of this evidence was from private communications from like Vijaya's phone calls specifically to people in the DNC or Yoel Roth's phone calls or private emails that wouldn't be on Twitter's servers. We don't know if Elon possibly is holding this back because it's putting egg on the face of all of these people saying, haha, the government wasn't involved. But mark my words, just like this story in general, once we find definitive proof that yes, the government was involved in telling these social media companies to censor this story, the people on the left will go, that's okay. But today they're saying, haha, it didn't happen, so it doesn't matter. They're saying it didn't happen is an acknowledgement by them. They understand the importance if the FBI and other government agencies did this, and we can see through depositions, it'll be likely that we find out that's exactly what occurred. This election was stolen. The thumb was put on the scale by not just the media and social media companies, but also people in government like the FBI that didn't want to lose power by having Donald Trump in office again.